On one of my blogs on Robert Heinz dog training, I actually did a expose on the entire system of dog training and exposing it. There's a lady named Jessica turned around. She created a comment saying that she actually sent this blog to several different people, and Chirag Patel is one of them. And they all declared bullshit to the blog, where I actually laid out B.F. Skinner, direct quotes from his book, and why all of this crap is wrong. Let's get into what Chirag's got to say about emotions.
You're taught that your emotions drive your behavior.
Your emotions do drive your behaviors. What are emotions? They're also known as instincts. That's what emotions are. They are your instincts that drive your behavior. Happiness is a instinct. Fear, anxiety, they're both instincts. Disgust is an instinct. It's also an emotion. What drives your emotions? The limbic system of your brain drives all of your emotions and all of your behaviors. What he's going to get into is in the mind. Because psychology itself is a study of the mind and behavior, and that's all they're focused on right now is the mind. It's about feelings over facts.
You're doing it because you feel frustrated.
You're doing it because you feel frustrated. If you haul off and slug me, why did you do it? Why would you hit me? Because you felt anger? That's the reason why you haul off and slug me.
But there's a lack of evidence there. And I think
A lack of evidence. How is it a lack of evidence? Explain to people how it's a lack of evidence for emotions driving your behaviors, instincts driving your behaviors. If you suffer the emotion called anger and you reach out and smack me, guess what? It's the instinct called anger that drove your behavior to hit me.
think another way to view it is that if our learner is doing something, there are, like the ABCs, there are consequences driving those behaviors.
That's not operant conditioning, though. It's already learned. That's what drives your behaviors. So, if a child reaches out and touches the hot stove, the negative consequence of a burn automatically, immediately becomes a negative reinforcement that teaches the child to avoid the hot stove. That's the consequence of the actions, and that's what's driving their behaviors. So, for the first time it happens, guess what? The child learns just like that, avoid the hot stove.
So the animal does something, there's an outcome or consequence. And part of that outcome and consequence relationship, the ABC relationship, there's also an emotional experience that we have. Now, the emotional experience isn't something that's driving the behavior because
Again, it's another blatant lie. It's your instincts, it's your emotions that drive all your behaviors.
if I manipulate my consequence, so
Why would you manipulate the consequence? That's the problem. It's always the positive and negative consequences of the animal's actions. But the problem is, trainers like this want to apply reward and punishment. That's not how it works. If it's negative reinforcements that actually shape behaviors, punishment doesn't work because punishment tries to remove a behavior from a repertoire. When you're looking at negative reinforcements in the environment, things that you're scared of, are what drive your behaviors to fight and flight. And what is fight and flight? Aggression and reactivity. If you're scared of spiders, guess what? When you see a spider, the emotion called fear, the instinct called fear, is going to drive your behaviors to fight and flight. What is that caused by? The limbic system in your brain is detecting the fear response. The limbic system in your brain is going to send a signal to your adrenal glands to increase cortisol and adrenaline, which is going to put you on the precipice of fight and flight. Guess what? That's how it works. That's how basic it is. What are you getting on with?
for example, say I've got a dog who sees another dog and starts to bark and scream and lunge.
Okay, my first question is, why is the dog barking and screaming and lunging? We need to understand why. This is called diagnosis. But all you want to do is stand in the way and feed treats. You're actually stepping in and interfering with the dog's ability to rationalize. So when a person meets something new in the environment, that's operant conditioning. It's always new environments. Okay? New things in the environment or new environment. How they react to that first meeting in the new environment is going to create their operant conditioning. If it's a positive consequence, you're going to want to do it again. If it's a negative consequence, you're going to avoid doing it again. So why is the dog screaming and lunging and whatnot?
If they get to meet their dog, the other dog, they stop.
If a dog is screaming and lunging and whatnot, they're not going to get to meet a dog. Because I'm going to stand there, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to put the onus on the dog, saying, you know what? Figure it out. At some point, they're going to calm down, they're going to rationalize through all that fear, and realize that what they're barking at is not a big deal. This is called rationalization. This is psychology 101.
Barking and lunging, and we might label it as when my dog sees the other dog, he gets frustrated. And because he gets frustrated, he starts to lunge and bark.
Can it be due to anxiety? And why would a dog get frustrated in the first place? You take a German Shepherd that's lunging and barking on a leash. Why would a German Shepherd possibly get frustrated on a leash? Why would an Aussie Shepherd? These are herding dogs. They were bred. The genetics is there to hunt and chase. They need to chase something. That's what every dog was bred for. Be it a husky chasing the wind, be it a Labrador Retriever chasing a dead duck, be it a Aussie Shepherd chasing sheep. It doesn't matter. Most dogs are bred to chase something. But yet, you're taking away the positive reinforcement by having them on a leash. That's the reality. You're taking away the ability to chase. You're actually suppressing those genetics. And guess what? The behavior is a result of suppressing the genetics. They want to chase. They want to get out and run and chase, but you're not letting them.
Now, where do you see the frustration? What you see is the barking and lunging, which is a dog's behavior. You don't see frustration anywhere. If you cut the animal open, you still don't see frustration.
But I guarantee you one thing, if you start doing chemical testing, you're going to find a whole lot of cortisol and adrenaline, aren't you?
It's a label that we give to what we see. Now, if someone else had seen that with different eyes, different experience, different learning, they might say, he's not frustrated, he's anxious. So we use these labels differently based on how we've learned.
Yes, and anxiety drives what behavior? Fight and flight, which is also aggression and reactivity. That's a cortisol response, adrenaline response. If you're afraid of spiders, I'm not afraid of spiders. When you see a spider, your body goes fight and flight. I won't. Why? Why are you afraid of spiders and I'm not? Stop and think about that. Because I understand spiders. In the face of a negative reinforcement, according to Skinner, you can fight, flight, or become indifferent. What is indifferent? It's neutral. You don't give a shit. It's not a big deal.
To use these labels, they don't mean the same thing to every person.
And that's the whole problem, isn't it? That's the whole problem. They don't mean the same thing to every person. Everybody's redefining everything. Dude, you know what? What you're pushing right now is primary inducements. You're not a positive reinforcement trainer. You're a primary inducement trainer because I've watched your videos and all you're doing is doling out treats. These are positive primary inducements, not positive reinforcements. You're lying to people when you call yourself a positive reinforcement trainer. Positive reinforcement is all about the animal's desires, wants, and needs. The desire for food, water, desire to stay safe. And how do dogs stay safe? Through fight and flight. It's no different for human beings. That's the reality. Have a good day.